A new option has been added to SysQue Duct for version 9.3. We'll take a look at that here. I'm going to jump into the menu, and within the menu and settings, under other settings tab, you'll see that there is a flow off option now. So previously we were providing flow for duct or duct and fittings, and what this does, flow in general is going to provide you a continuous C1 to C2 connected system. These are not necessary. So what the result is if you're modeling with flow off, you're going to be significantly faster than if you're modeling with flow on duct and fittings. We can actually take a look and see what that looks like as far as, what kind of time can you expect to change for your flow off versus duct and fittings. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the auto break duct so we can view it in entirety. I'm going to say apply. Okay, so now flow is off. I'm going to move, and this is going to be your default value, is going to be off. I'm going to go ahead and set duct and fittings as the applied flow. And I'm going to go ahead and just come off to the side over here and model something. Let's do something a little bit larger. So one thing to notice is I'm just going to draw out a simple run. Let SysQue manage that. Not a whole lot going on there. But it does need to take into exception one thing, and we'll look at that right now. So if I highlight these two elbows and I turn on my connector ID so we can view what C1 versus C2 is. So if we zoom in here, we have a C1 to C2 connection, which is good, right? I started drawing here, C1 to C2, and then through the segment, C1 to C2. If we take a look at this elbow is also C1 to C2 and all the way through. And you can see the SysQue flow indicator as an arrow on the open end. This elbow right here is what is being considered with that flow. And you saw that when I modeled that, there is a slight bit of thinking that needs to go into play there. So again, we'll do just about the same run. And you'll see that it'll go through the fitting placement pretty well. And that what it's doing right here, as it's taking that last bit of thinking, is looking at this right-hand elbow and making sure that its connector is set C1 to C2 in line with the rest of the run. Where is that valuable? Drop cheeks would be a value because you need to know what your C1 to C2 is and how it's dropping. Is it necessary? No, it just makes it a little bit more intuitive when you're reporting, top down some amount from C1 to C2 and that it's in line with everything else in that run. So what are the results without it? Let's go take a look. I'm going to go ahead and turn that setting off. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to turn flow off. Again, this is going to be your default value because we want to offer the fastest SysQue duct that you can get a hold of. And now I'm going to essentially come in and draw that exact same run. And so that's done. You can see it takes considerable less time. And the reason being is that Revit, when you model elbows in Revit, and this is just an example, there's a couple other scenarios that do the same thing, but if you take a look, the left-hand turn elbow, so we modeled from the left to the right, the left-hand turn goes C1 to C2. Now, if I come and I take a look at this right-hand bend, you'll see that it's inverted from the previous run. So this elbow is a C2 to C1. Again, if you know what connector C1 and C2 is, it's still fairly intuitive, but it does kind of break your C1 to C2 flow. If you don't care and productivity and speed is more important, by all means, turn off the flow because that's how we intended it. We wanted to get this as fast as possible for you guys. And this is probably one of the biggest speed improvements as far as utilities go that we are offering. All right, I think that kind of covers our flow off option. I'll go ahead and wrap this video. If you haven't already, head over to the YouTube channel, take a look at our other 9.3 videos. Thanks.